Alrighty, so this is Diesel We the People News. One more time at it again, alright? I believe this is part 4. Okay? Knowledge is power, right? Now, I understand sometimes it's a little difficult to look up certain things, right? But since we're talking about criminal codes, right? Get yourself familiar with Criminal Code 14.06 and 15.07. And then we're going to go with 1617. That's the warrant issue, right? So if you committed a crime in Texas, actually in jail, not really just traffic ticket, within 48 hours, that magistrate needs to issue a warrant and put it in the uh, clerk of courts, that warrant. If it's not done in this way in 48 hours, it's null and void. But they don't do it. But we don't know about it. So be really particular on 16. Geez, it went out of my little brain. 16, 17. Oh, darn brain farts. Hey, you get to my age, you find out there's quite a bit of them. All right, not an attorney, so I'm not giving legal advice, just opinion sometimes. All right, educational purposes only. Okay, take everything I say with a grain of salt. Okay, do your own research, people, people, people. All right, let's go.
Here. Your citation said something about you need to go within 10 days, or it'll say honor before such and such a day. And you walked in there the same day you got that thing, and it says you need to appear. Well, you did. You went in there. Magistrate wasn't there. There was nobody that was ready or willing to talk to you. In some cases, I've even had them tell me that the court's not available to the public today, and that's just something else that you get to ding them for.
Now this all begs the question, Brett. How many citations have you gotten?
We're going to pause on that question, by the way. So, just for everybody to recognize that there's really no such thing as magistrate. It's a made-up word that the judicial branch, let's go unlawfully, created a magistrate to kind of be a clerk to kind of weed out the criminals, non-criminals, standing, no standing, all that kind of stuff. But that's the reason why you can sue magistrates, right? Because they technically don't exist. It boggles the mind how they do these things to the people.
Oh my goodness. I don't know. 20? I don't know.
And we
it's a long list.
Tickets or other things?
Oh yeah, speeding, all kinds of traffic stuff. I've had the registration thing. I've had the insurance thing. I've had the probably more speedings than anything else, but I've had several of the others. And at one point, when I showed my driver's license, I used to have a Texas driver's license, and when I show that, the officer tells me, "Oh, looks like that expired yesterday." And whoops, I didn't realize that. Guess what? They did a retroactive suspension on my license so that they could call that ticket driving without a license. Oh yeah, it's suspended. So yeah, then things got really hairy from there. I had to deal with. We used to have some legislation in Texas that allowed them to, after they called you driving while license invalid, boy, they could do a lot of bad things to you. And it got. There's a law firm. It's about 400. The next ones come. If you miss the second one, or if you get the first two and miss the third one, then they put a whole new layer of collection on there. So there'll be another $765 on top of the others that were being collected. And they don't reference anything. They just put these weird codes on there. So 76 GKB4 is the reason why we're billing you today. And it was such a crazy scam. I finally, I won't say I was the only one. I'm sure other people were fighting it too, but I got at some point a sense of success when we saw that our governor abolished that.
Oh,
So
well,
it doesn't exist anymore in Texas. Some states still have that mess. You know, it's similar, obviously not exactly the same, but yeah, it was definitely a scam.
well, they regularly change the DUI laws here in Louisiana, and they are now up to a point. I think it started this early January that they can now put you in jail for 6 months. What are we doing here? Are we trying to take away?
6 months.
Yeah, are we trying to take away jobs and livelihoods from everyone? That because that's the effect. DUI. You absolutely are going to lose your job. And you absolutely are going to lose your livelihood and maybe your home and God knows what else.
Yeah, yeah. Most people would lose their home, their cars, everything.
Crazy. Absolutely.
Yeah. Wow. That goes to makes me think of bills of attainder,
Absolutely.
where basically you lose everything and all your offspring from now on is just destroyed.
Absolutely.
Wow.
I didn't mean to interrupt your flow. Continue.
No, that's cool. So I was just describing about how it's good to go to the court clerk, and a little bit about why it's good, because I get so many people that say, "Oh man, that's 35 minutes away. I don't want to go over there again." Or if I go over there, they're just going to arrest me. No, no, no. Go over there. Go see the court clerk. Stop with all the scared stuff and just go do what you need to do. You need a copy of what's going on there. Otherwise, you don't have anything to talk to. You don't know what's going on. You need to look at the documents, and from there, you'll be able to say either A, there's no case, or B, oh, they do have some paperwork in the record, and here's what it says. So I'm able to know the nature and cause of the accusation. Like some of these citations, whether it's from a municipal police officer or whether it's a municipal code enforcement, um, sometimes even county sheriff or a state trooper, these citations will say on there what specific, they might not say the nature, they might say just the cause, like section 521 point something, section 545.351. They'll point you to something, and is really helpful if you can, as early as possible, figure out what you're being accused of and go find it. Where is the language of that? So, like, this might be if it's a state crime, or if it's in the transportation code, so it relates to the regulated activity of commercial transportation. If it's a municipal ordinance, the way that you handle this, like we were talking about earlier, it's different depending on the nature and cause. So it's great to go ahead as early as possible, go get these documents and figure out what's against you. What are you being accused of? Now, obviously, if it's a crime, there's no case until there's some primary pleadings. Like I said, they're going to act like there's one, but my only thing I like to harp on right now is jurisdiction. I've gotten so many wins for myself and other people by just harping on the fact that the court never acquired jurisdiction in the first place because there's no paperwork. And typically what happens is the judge will say, well, didn't you get a copy of the citation? I've got a copy right here if you need one. He's wanting me to plead to something that has never been expressed. And he'll say it's been expressed just because the citation exists, but it hasn't been expressed lawfully. According to the due process of law.
Sit there and think about that, people. You'll see all these people challenging jurisdictions and all that, and they're not following the due process. The magistrate's not doing the process, but you guys call these other people sovereign citizens that does this. That's not the case. They're following due process. The magistrate is not following due process.
the paperwork that would express that doesn't exist. So all this little cryptic, that would be an indictment from a grand jury or an information from a district attorney or county attorney.
With a signed complaint.
Yes, based on a sworn complaint and attached to the sworn complaint. So both would be filed together in the court record. The way that a court gets jurisdiction is not from a cop. I mean, these officers that pull you over, they do not represent the state. They can't go into a court, just like we were talking about earlier. If you're a plaintiff, you come to the court and you say, here's my complaint. Count 1, count 2, count 3, and I need this court to adjudicate these things. The cop is not doing that. He doesn't represent the state. He's a potential witness if the state comes after you, but the state hasn't come after you.
And under due process, can the cop sign the complaint? He can only.
Yes, he can. He's doing that not in his capacity as any kind of officer, but in his capacity as a man who's a witness. I saw such and such. This is what I saw. This is what I heard. It happened in my sight, my hearing, and here are the facts. It would take, for that to become a meaningful accusation in a court, the state needs to come against you. Now, obviously, the state doesn't really exist. It's just a fictional entity. But we the people, via our legislatures, have set up a way for the state to be represented, and the state can come to court. And that's only via a lawfully authorized individual, which in Texas, it's only the district attorney or the county attorney. And some counties, there are a few counties, I think 33 counties out of the 254, there is a third that's kind of a merged version. It's called a criminal district attorney. So let's just say there are 3 different people that it could be. A cop is not one of them, and neither is the city attorney. City attorney is nobody. If somebody sues the city, he can go in there and dance around and do his shenanigans in there and try to defend the city. Or if the city wants to sue somebody else, he can go in there and argue about the case. But he is nowhere in law is he authorized. The city attorney is not authorized to bring a case against you. Not on behalf of the city and not on behalf of the state. If you want to do a criminal case,
50 states, or are we talking just 10?
I've never seen anywhere where it is authorized. I guess it's possible that there's somewhere that allows it, but no.
And I'm going to pause right there. Maybe start another one. But the city attorney, again, what are they there for? Right? So they're there to actually give some form of legal advice to the mayor, city councils, this, that, here, and there. That's all they're for. It's just some form of legal advice. All right, we're going to pause it here. I guess this one lasts a little longer, so we're going to jump on the next one. All right. This is We the People News. Bye, y'all.